So, you've come to challenge me in my dungeon with my big oversized pal? Yeah, I'd like to see you try, little boy. And then you beat them, and you beat him so bad, and you're like, give me that shit! Give me that shit! Give me that pig slip, boy! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rose Gold Videocast, and today we're talking about Palworld. I love every single one of these games that I'm going to be discussing today. If I have some negative things to say about it, or if I think Palworld is doing it better, that doesn't mean I hate them. Crazy, right? These are just my thoughts on the new game Palworld, you know, and it kind of slaps. This game does slap. In my opinion, it is very much still in its beta stages, as Pocket Pair does state before you launch the game. So I'm definitely expecting more content to come out with future updates. This general genre of game is actually my weak spot when it comes to a new obsession for a video game. I am such a fan of base building in an open world environment while having the ability to work with NPC creatures and characters. And hey, what do you know? Palworld has it, and I am eating this game up. Just a quick little backstory to just assure everyone that I have the sauce certification. During the dreaded year of 2020, my friends and I dove extremely deep into the World of Ark Survival Evolved, baby. I became enthralled in this title and played it non-stop while we were all being forced to be stuck inside and attend school from Zoom calls. It sounds terrible to many people, but between you and me, you know, us gamers out here, this was probably the greatest gaming era of our lives. Anyways, Ark at this time had everything that I have been wanting in a new game. It had the creature taming, it had the base building, the boss fights, the PvP, if you were into that, which I very much was. I had made countless memories on Ark, and it's definitely one of those titles that I really hope to get to again. However, the main problem with this game is what actually is currently stopping me from playing it now. If you've played Ark before, then you are well aware of the amount of time in order to be successful that you have to pour into this game. And yes, before you comment away, I know you're doing it down there. I know you can join a PvE server. I know you can do offline servers too. Shoot, you can find the nice online server with some boosted rates. Believe me, I completely understand. But for one, my thing is very much PvP. I love the aspect of having other real-life people to go up against. And you really truly don't get all of that full immersion in a PvE server, or you'd get none of that in an offline server. Anyways, the grind for Ark is very real, and that amount of time is something I unfortunately lack at this moment in time. So color me surprised when I heard about this new Palworld game, and learning all of the similarities that it shares with Ark and many other titles. Now, I'm not really going to do a massive deep dive into every single similarity that this game shares with every other game, because that's just gaming in general. Not every game is going to have completely original ideas. You know, things are being borrowed everywhere, and that's just life. Now, I will say Palworld Palworld is a little bit more suspicious than other games, because if you'll notice, a lot of the pals look more or less identical to Pokemon, but whatever, you know, we can get beyond that. Maybe Nintendo will also get beyond that. At the time of filming this, don't know what's going on with that lawsuit. But while we're talking about the big elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Mamorist, not only do they look extremely similar to Pokemon, but they also basically act the same way. These little bastards are roaming the landscape completely rent-free, but they also have different typing, different special moves for battles, and this is crazy. I didn't really figure this out until I was typing up a script for this, but they are literally caught in a Palsphere. And once I typed out Palsphere, I was like, Pokeball. 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 Sphere. You catching my drift? On top of that, the Palspheres also come in stronger forms, similar to Great Balls, Ultra Balls, you know. Basically the exact same thing. But no, the similarities do not stop there. Your pals also level up by gaining experience points, and when they do this, they can learn new moves and just become stronger overall. And obviously, training up your pals is going to be extremely useful for when it is time to battle, baby! This is very much a huge personal opinion of mine, so just prepare yourself. Okay? I think that battling with a pal in Palworld is significantly more exciting than it is in Pokemon. Now, hear me out. I say this, but I also have to add in there that the personal connection to the pals in Palworld is not nearly the same as it is in Pokemon. In Palworld, I can pretty much just mindlessly swap in and out pals from my party and not really care. While in Pokemon, it's a turn-based battling game, so you're spending a lot more time and it's a lot more slowed down with one or two of your Pokemon on the field at a time. And also just overall catching a Pokemon is a lot more satisfying than it is in Palworld, at least from my own experience. Like I said, these little shits are everywhere in Palworld. Like, you're not gonna have a problem finding pals to catch. Pokemon, at least with the older games, not so much the more recent entries on their franchise, you really do have to go look for these things, and it's a complete chance just to find it in the tall grass. But with that all being said, being able to ride a pal or just fight alongside of it during a boss fight or just any kind of fight in general is fucking badass, dude. When I'm rolling up next to one of my boys and I have a fucking gun in my hand, dude, that not much beats that. Or I pick up a pal and use it as a gosh darn flamethrower. I mean, like, come on, how if you don't like this game, how do you not enjoy this? You don't like fun. That's how. You don't enjoy fun. Ark does basically this as well, something called a cryopod. You can freeze your creature tames inside of them. You can even store them away in a cryo fridge, and you just toss these suckers out. They're essentially just Pokeballs. Adding on to the connection problem that I have kind of with Palworld as opposed to Pokemon. Palworld, that thing passes out, whatever. You just cycle in, cycle back. Like, it's so fast paced, you kind of don't care about it, if that makes sense. But still, dude, fighting alongside the boys, oh, it's too good, I'm telling you. A progression system I've always loved about games is just boss battles. You know, you gotta train to be stronger. In Pokemon, you have to train up your Pokemon party to become stronger, to actually take out the gyms. And on top of that, it's great to kind of strategize a little bit. Oh, if you're going into a water gym, let's bring some grass type Pokemon. Oh, we're going into a grass type gym. Let's bring some fire boys in there. It adds a little bit of strategy to the game that I really, really appreciate. And the progression of actually getting over a gym and earning a little bit more from that, it's very satisfying, and it's a way to keep pushing the player forward. So Pokemon's got a little bit extra sauce for that kind of feature, you know what I'm saying? Palworld has some sauce too when it comes to gym battles. They are very fun, but in a different kind of way. Palworld has a good mix of open world boss fights and then dungeon boss fights, and I think that's a very interesting way to do it. For the most part, the above world boss fights feel pretty relaxed, pretty chill, but then the dungeon ones feel a lot more intense, a lot more personal. While Palworld doesn't feel as satisfying to take out one of these bosses as compared to a game like Pokemon, it does not get any better than taking out a boss with not only one of your pals thrown out, but you're fighting alongside one of your friends and they have their pal thrown out too. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that is sick. It's so good. So Palworld has a little bit of extra sauce for that one too. Fighting the bosses in Pokemon is satisfying, absolutely. But beating the brakes off of a boss with one of your best friends, it's just too good. And get this, you can catch the boss's pal. In Palworld, you can actually catch the boss as you're fighting it. Like, that's such a crazy concept to me, that you can just snatch those puppies up. Oh, you've come to challenge me in my dungeon with my big oversized pal? Yeah, I'd like to see you try, little boy. And then you beat them, and you beat them so bad, and you're like, give me that shit, give me that shit, give me that pink slip, boy. And you take their pal from their cold, lifeless hands. Did we not play the same game? I don't know if we played the same game or not. Another key highlight I just want to touch on really quick is how involved your pals are, not only with you as a player while you're traveling around, but also at your base. Assigning roles to your pals and figuring out which ones perform better at tasks is another layer to the game that I very much appreciate. It's honestly really cool watching a fire type pal actually use its abilities to cook or smelt ingots. And when we had discovered that our Gumas was planting seeds while our Pangolin, I don't know, was watering them, we were actually shocked to see a feature so simple yet neat and useful. In the Pokemon franchise, I've always really enjoyed the added feature of running alongside one of your Pokemon. But really, that's kind of the extent of how interactive you can get with your party. And then in Ark, you actually spend most of your time with tames in the game. It really is basically impossible to just go through the game without using a tame. I mean, you have to harvest lot of resources and a lot of materials, and especially if you're PvP, you got to stock up on some bullets. So if you've played that, you know Ark is a job. And while it's very enjoyable and very cool to utilize these tames to resource grind in a game like Ark, I also just really love seeing our slave labor force, you know, work a 9 to 5 and then overtime on top of that, you know, just for the good of this campsite. This aspect of Palworld is really useful because it cuts down on the amount of time spent just grinding in your own time. There are definitely still things that the player has to go get themselves, but you don't have to waste your time trying to get stone or wood. Like actually seeing your pals at camp chopping down trees and carrying it over to your storage bins, like that's very, very cool, and it just feels way more immersive. All right, now we've reached the point in the video where I take a massive dump on Palworld. Not actually, I don't really have much to say when it comes to negatives. As previously stated, this game is in its beta build state. So just kind of clarifying that and clearing the air, like I'm well aware of it before I list a couple of these things off. However, with what we are currently working with, I just feel that the world is a little barren. It's a little empty feeling, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, there are pals literally everywhere. I mean, I wasn't joking earlier when I said they are all over the place. You do not have to try hard to go out and find one of these guys. But besides that, it's kind of it, honestly. That's kind of all there is. Yeah, there's some thugs out there. Yeah, there's some syndicate boys in their little campsites. Those spread out, I actually do feel like those are pretty well established and distributed around the map. They're not too common, but they're also not just like, where is everybody, you know? Especially the enemy NPCs. I mean, those guys show up quite a bit. Now, for the good guys, though, I feel like there could be some work done. You run into your random, run-of-the-mill NPC chilling by the fire or just hanging out over here on his lonesome. And then you go talk to him, and that's kind of it. I've seen a lot of people kind of say the same thing, that they've only really have seen one friendly NPC settlement. You go in and talk, and there's a merchant, and there's other people there, but like the conversation, the lore, the other information, other interactions, it's not really there, and it does feel lacking in that department. Now, this is Palworld, so you know you don't really need you don't need a lot of lore to this. I'm here to turn my brain off. I'm here to have a good time, but still, you want some more meat on there, and I think that's where they might improve upon in the future. Some NPCs, some random interactive events going on, something to kind of give the world more life. These are just a couple ideas that I'm gonna kind of, you know, spitball out there. One good change that I could bring to the table when it comes to NPCs are random battles. You have the Pokemon franchise where you're walking down routes and you have to battle other trainers against their Pokemon, and this is a wonderful way to actually level your Pokemon party up. I genuinely feel like adding something similar to this into Palworld would be really, really fun. Just imagine exploring the terrain, you know, having a good old time, and then boom, random trainer dude is there, random other NPC guys there, and he tosses out his Pokemon. But the main difference and the main other appeal to this is that you can fight them as well. Shoot, you can put a bullet in that dude's head, I guess, maybe, if you really wanted to. But I think that would be so cool and adaptive, and it keeps you on your toes more. I know there have been some rumors, and maybe Pocket Pair has dropped like a hint or two at PvP coming to live servers, and I think that is such a great idea, but it makes me wonder how well is it actually going to work. You have a game like Ark, or you even have a game like Rust, where you have to build up these massive bases, build up all your defenses. In Palworld, people are having their entire campsites burnt to a crisp because of like one fire pal. That could be so toxic in a PvP world. I mean, that could be horrible. It could be base building PvP, I don't really know. I would love it if there is, because I love raiding, I love defending. That'll just be on them. We'll see what happens with that. But imagine a PvP combat area where you can go battle other players and their pals. Like, that sounds so cool to me. And I just really hope that they actually implement something like that in the near future. Like I said, battling other players is always a huge plus to me. It was a massive plus to me playing Ark. And so yeah, I just really hope PvP comes into the picture sometime soon. Listen, y'all, I am very much enjoying Palworld, and I'm really enjoying seeing little hints and pieces of other games that I really have come to love, all kind of meshed into one game now. I just really hope that Pocket Pair keeps building and expanding on what they've already created. If I'm being totally honest, I haven't enjoyed a game this much in a while. I've kind of been in a weird rut lately, trying to figure out what game to play next. So this has been a massive breath of fresh air to me. Brand new, it's fresh, it's not the same rinse and repeat routine that we've seen over and over again. Yes, it does borrow a lot of the same aspects from other games, but they've done it so well, and they've added all these different pieces to make one big, nice puzzle. But what are your thoughts on Palworld? Are you enjoying it? And what other features are you hoping to see come out in the near future? As always, please leave a like and comment down below all of your thoughts that you may have. As always, I really appreciate y'all watching, and I will see you in the next video.